And welcome back to Lantern Corps. Today, brought to you by, well, technically it is brought to you by Clockwork Islander for all your Clockwork Islander needs. This particular Lantern Corps video comes from us from Lucas423 asked the question, what is Master Roshi's Lantern Corps? No joke. I thought there would be more options on here than I think there actually are. Let's get into this. I actually think there's only 3 ones to really go in depth in, that could theoretically really work. Okay, there's actually 3. In fact, I'm going to, at this very moment, get one ready right now as I am looking this up. But Roshi's a very odd case. Like I said, I thought there would be more here, but there actually is not a lot. And what I mean by that is this. Roshi is a guy who really just knows who he is and knows what he likes, and he's not very superfluous with his emotions. So let's get right off the bat. Every character has died once, so let's get the Black Lantern Corps out of the way on that, shall we? Okay, now the Black Lantern Corps are addressed. Roshi has not been happy all of his life. He's mostly a happy-go-lucky guy, surprisingly, but there has definitely been moments where he has been depressed, he's been upset, he's been angry, all that. He's not been happy all his life, so gold's right out. I considered shame for a little bit, but there's only maybe a few points in his life you could even consider using shame. For example, like when realizing about King Piccolo being released and what happened to his master previously. Other than that, though, I can't think of much. Like, he felt ashamed he couldn't help out with the androids, but that's about it. White Lantern, yeah, he's over 300 years old, so he's been around for a while, but that's about it. He tries to protect life, but he'll do it by taking life if he has to. So that's not really a good recommendation for a White Lantern. We already just discussed, because he's been dead, that he could be a Black Lantern. Blue is odd. In his early days, he might have been a Blue Lantern. I think that I heard my dog. Yeah, it was my dog. I heard the door. I'm like, is somebody here? No, it's a dog. It is the early days. I think he would have been a more likely to be a Blue Lantern. And if we were to look at Dragon Ball Roshi, I think a lot more of these could show up. But we're looking at Roshi overall, because his students had to put faith in him, and he had to put faith in his students. Faith is hope. Hope and faith are the same thing. And they translate to the same emotional spectrum in this case. So hope is weird. But as the time went on, yeah, they more faith would get put in like Goku, Yamcha, like particularly Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, Krillin, go on, all of them. What faith is put into him? Ultimately, I guess is the question. Except maybe in the Tournament of Power, I don't see that working out, really. He's not an avarice lantern. And Roshi's not greedy. Yeah, he's got his vices, but he's not greedy. He's content living on his island, reading nudie mags and all that. So, no, he's not an avarice lantern at all. He's also not a lantern of compassion. And this is only because he's got other emotions that are stronger, in my opinion. And last but not least, well, not last but not least, I don't think he's a rage lantern here. We've seen Roshi get angry, but not enraging, not a type of angry where he could be a Red Lantern. So the only remaining 3 are Sapphire, Fear, and Will. And of those 3, only 2 of them I think work. One is the obvious and the boring one, the Green Lanterns. When you're a martial artist and discipline is part of what you are, Will is obviously going to come up. Obviously overcoming great fear. Most of these guys have had to do that. Krillin's had to do it many times. But yeah, so Will makes absolute sense. You'd think Fear might be on here, but I don't think so. I don't think a lot of people, again, Dragon Ball era Roshi and the once or twice in Tournament of Power, sure. But Roshi's not someone people are afraid of. And you need to inspire great fear, not just be occasionally scared of. So that leaves us with the last one, set to talk about is Sapphire. And this is the one I think a lot of people will be wondering about. Say, well, does this work? And the answer is Sapphire is both the a love and affection for someone, but it can also be lust. So Roshi certainly lusts after women. He does. But he seems to have a really good control over that lust. Yeah, he pervs out a lot, but Roshi in terms of saying, I've spent all of my years suppressing this. Now what happens when I unleash it? Do not blame me. He does the Universe 4 chick. So Roshi definitely has those vices, and it's there. But does it overpower Will? Does it overpower his ability to be a Green Lantern? Because if you take Green out of the equation, then I think, yeah, well, Star of Sapphires would work for Roshi because of his nature of being, of just a pervert and just lusting after the women. I do, however, think that the Green Lantern ring of Will is more likely candidate. And it's because because of his discipline as a martial artist, he can suppress those urges when he needs to, no problem. He even says so himself. So I think that discipline and the martial arts training he's had and the willpower he has overpowers his ability to be a Sapphire Lantern of love, or in this case of lust. But regardless, I think Green Lantern is still a good Lantern Corps to put Roshi in. But until then, that is my thoughts. What do you think Roshi's Lantern Corps would be? Do you think any of these other ones I suggest are good options? Or is it possible he could be any one of the other 6? No, it's 11 now. 11. Let me know in the comments below. But until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put it in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. And hit that bell if you want to be notified. Thanks, and see you later.